Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and welcome back to another episode of TekTopia, where you join me witnessing one of our lumberjacks, in fact our only lumberjack. The other villager is a farmer. Somewhere, there he is, just coming in to go to bed. It's nighttime and they're all getting cozy in their apartment, which is awesome. And yes, hello everybody, welcome back to TekTopia, where last episode we built a giant laser drill, shooting a laser down into some mines below, as you can see. And just want to say, as always, thank you guys for all the feedback for this build. A lot of you seem to really enjoy it, and I thank you for that. Today we are going to be building something that will go very well accompanied with the mines over here. And that is going to be the smithy, or the blacksmith, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be built on one of the 3 remaining platforms nearest to the city centerpiece that I'm currently stood on right now, and I think it's going to make most sense if we have it next to the actual mines. That is probably going to be best for city efficiency, and we're going to start building it very shortly, but first of all, it's bedtime. So there are some other things I would like to do today alongside building the smithy. So I think to start things off here and make sure we have enough time to do everything else, I should probably stand over here for a little while and let these trees despawn, because these have been here for a very long time. And so has this leaf, by the way. I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here, but bear with me. This leaf has been here not despawning since the beginning of this city project. I chopped down a tree that was probably around about here and chopped down all the logs, and the rest of the leaves despawned, but not this one. And I don't know why. I think we have a magic leaf. Anyway, what was I saying? Something about building the smithy. We're gonna do that now. Start the time lapse. Do I keep the lava flowing, or do I go and grab a bunch of lava buckets and make them all into source blocks like this one here? I think I'm going to keep it as flowing because, well, that's the lazy option. I don't have to get all those lava buckets that way. Plus, I kind of like the look of the lava flowing. I think it adds something to this little section of the build, which, if you haven't figured it out already, we got a big old pipe here with lava coming out of it that redirects it back inside, which is very ugly at the moment. We'll remedy this later on, but it's going to come back inside and basically link up to something here, and it is pretty much going to be a power source for the smithy. It'll make sense when we do the interior, trust me. But yeah, this is the smithy, and I actually quite like how this build turned out. I don't think there's anything really that noticeable except from the pipe at the front here, because that's kind of like the whole power source. As I said, we do have some solar panels and that sort of thing, as well as some more stuff on the ceiling. Don't exactly know what any of this is. You got to use your imagination a little bit. Maybe this is some sort of vent. We got the fire coming out the top, right above where the forge is going to be. Our futuristic forge, I guess we'll have to call it. And then I got a couple of other things kind of on the sides that are meant to be something. Maybe this is to supply power. We got these going down and it goes back up. I don't know, you gotta use your imagination a little bit. It's just adding little things so we don't have a super plain building. As for the building itself, I think it turned out pretty cool, and this is what it looks like at nighttime, by the way. Very, very illuminated. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm having fun designing these buildings every 2 weeks, you know, trying to come up with something that's completely, you know, different to what I'm used to. It's a very unique building style and something I haven't really messed with too much before, at least not on this scale. So trying to come up with something that kind of matches the other builds in the city, but is also different on its own. This one, for example, is a bit more of a cyberpunk style. We kind of have these grid formations that you can see at the top with all of the sea lanterns and glass coming together, which I actually think looks super awesome, but we haven't done that on the others. But yeah, they're kind of changing every single build I do. I don't think I've really settled on a style just yet. I'm still figuring it out. Maybe I'll get there when we've got all of the platforms done and the city is finished. That's when I know what to build. Anyway, now we can start work on the inside, but before we do, 1, I need to go to bed, and 2, I would just like to talk to you guys about something I noticed in the comments on last episode a couple of times. People were curious what my plan is for the necromancer, because recently we've been having the nomads and the merchants spawn on the top levels of our apartment complex, which is fine for them to do it, but if the necromancer was to spawn there, which they do often spawn in a similar spot to the nomads and the merchant, that would be chaos. That would be like the worst possible spot for them to spawn, and I don't plan on keeping it that way. I think sometime soon, probably not this episode, I don't think we're going to have time for it. This maybe could be a live stream task, but I think I will have to make either, you know, the corner platforms finished and all filled in so that if he does spawn, he can choose to go over there, or we make some platforms in the very corners of the village border, which we should be coming into any second. Here we are. So if we made a platform like here in the ocean, they would spawn here. Admittedly, yeah, the nomads and that, oh, that really hurts my eyes to look at. I'll turn around because it probably is the same for you guys as well. The nomads and merchant will spawn out here, which is absolutely fine, but the necromancer would as well, which is the main thing. Far away from civilization over there, but, you know, it's out of the way with, basically. So yeah, that's my plan. But for right now, if he does spawn, it's in the top of the apartment, so I'll have to think fast about that one. Or we could always come to our town hall here and give the icon a quick twist, like that, which completely stops the necromancer from spawning. Not something we're going to do at the moment, but maybe something to consider down the line when he starts to become a bit of a nuisance. Alright, let's turn the inside of our smithy into something that actually resembles a smithy, or a futuristic one at least. I've got a pretty cool design in mind and I'm excited to show you, so let's walk you through step by step how we're going to go about transforming this place into something that doesn't just look like a jumbled geometrical mess of blocks, because that's what we've got going on at the moment with a random piece of netherrack there. So first things first, we have to smoothen everything out, and this is what I do to begin with any interior project, not just in this futuristic style. Literally any sort of building that has an interior, this is the first thing I will do before placing in any sort of furnishings, I guess we would call them. Pretty much smoothing out the ceiling, smoothing out the walls, and as well as the floor, but we don't really need to do that this time round. Basically making it not look terrible, because before this we were just looking at the inside of the exterior, not the actual interior, if that makes sense, and now we've got all of these blocks placed down, it's looking a lot neater, and I'm happy to call that the interior of the building. After that, we can then build our forge, or at least something that we can pretend is our forge. It may not look like a generic one, but basically we're just using this lava, bringing it on through and kind of bringing it up and into the center of the build here. And in the very middle is where the forging would take place. How it works, I don't know. That's for the villagers to decide, not me. I'm just here to make stuff look good and pretend that they actually work. So we've got the central system where the forging takes place, and you can see the actual lava behind the glass, which I think is pretty cool, kind of being pushed through in the pipes. And then we've just got some sort of controls on the sides doing something or another. Again, I'm not exactly sure entirely what, but I do think this whole control panel does look pretty awesome. And of course the final thing to do is to make it functional for our villagers, aka putting in some furnaces, some crafting tables and some anvils. So I know all of these blocks here, the crafting tables, the furnaces and the anvils don't look particularly good for a futuristic city, but there really is nothing we can do about it if we want this place to be actually used by our blacksmiths. I guess the only thing we could possibly do is retexture them all, but then that would mean the other villages would look super weird with like a futuristic furnace design. So I think we're just going to keep it as it is. I've put the slabs on top to make it look a little bit more interesting. But yeah, that right there is our smithy all done, with the exception of building the pathways, and obviously the pillars underneath the platform here are still unfinished, but I'll just do all of that off camera. I'm not going to show you every single time we do that, otherwise it's going to get real boring. I'm going to do it for all of them, believe it or not. I'm hoping today we should be able to hire a few more nomads to become actual workers here in our city, but I thought I'd just give you an update on the 2 we currently have that we hired last time. They could be better. They could be a lot better. Amory here only has 24 happiness, and if I can just find our farmer. Is that you there in the field? I've forgotten what your name is. I'm very sorry. Remind me, please. Luther, yeah, you're also very sad, even more so than Amory. So hopefully soon we can build the tavern. That will obviously help them out. And as always, I'm doing the terrible thing that I shouldn't do of sleeping the night away. It's just a bad habit I need to try and crunch with this village. But there are spawnable spaces around. So I think once I've got everything lit up and maybe the platforms are all finished, then I'll feel happy just kind of letting them sleep away the night on their own terms, and I can work through the darkness. So yeah, these guys are doing reasonably well, all things considered, bearing in mind they are the only 2 workers in this giant city. They should have some more friends later on today, but for right now I want to go build a farm in the nether. So I have been using a lot of these end rods, which require blaze rods to make, and currently what I've been doing at the moment, if I can just locate it here, it's around here somewhere. Yes, there we are. This is my, ouch, please don't do that. This is my blaze farm currently, which it's something to be desired, that's for sure. It's not the best. I basically come in here, put my chest plate on, try not to get shot from the outside blazes, and wait for them to spawn, which takes a long time. And I eventually kill them with my looting sword like this and get 0 to 3 every single time. Got somewhat lucky there, but yeah, this is a real slow process, and I'm going to be using lots of end rods for this city most likely. I also use lots in Eriduine, so maybe I should have built this a long time ago. But yeah, I'm going to look around for an old school farm design, something fit for 1.12 Minecraft, and build it either here or somewhere that's a little bit safer. There is lots of lava around, which isn't really necessary for a blaze farm with a spawner. So yeah, I'm gonna find a spawner, turn it into a farm, and I don't have to just risk my life every time I want to get some end rods. So I am using a design from Wattles. I'll do my best to remember to leave a link down in the description below, but if I forget, it's literally the first thing that comes up when you type in Minecraft Blaze Farm 1.12. So yeah, this is just the foundation. I've still got to add in basically all of the pushers that will get them to the central spot. And I've closed up the actual blaze spawner, which is a little bit of a fiery mess at the moment. As you can see, it's not a very fun time up here, so I'm going to go straight back down, cover hell up, and unleash those guys later when the farm is actually finished. I'm going to get back to work right now. So all of the redstone is now in place, and I'm just going to give it a quick test as if I was a blaze myself. So basically you walk onto the pressure plates and you get pushed. I don't know what happens if this occurs. I think they are bigger than a 1 block hitbox, so they might actually just, you know, hit the pressure plates anyway. But let's jump across. Okay, well, it works pretty well, as you can see. Admittedly, I had to move a bit there, but I was kind of stuck in the corner to begin with, which I don't think is going to happen. Okay, now the farm has beaten me. If I could just throw myself into that corner. There we are. Now I have to do the scary thing of releasing the blazes, which should be pretty simple. I think what I'm going to do here these pressure plates are such a nuisance. I definitely should have done this before, but I think if I just kind of get to somewhat near the middle and start just slowly taking away the floor here, and hopefully they should just all fall down. Gonna put my pressure plate, No, gonna put my chest plate on for this one. Fire resistance maybe would have been a good idea. Okay, I think these are the last blocks, and all I quickly want to do is just fill the rest of this in temporarily with netherrack. I will replace it again afterwards with something that looks a little bit nicer, but just for now netherrack is fine because I'm currently burning to death. This is definitely not the best way to do this, I'm sure of it, but there we go. That's the room fully enclosed. Let's get rid of these blocks. My mouse is playing up, that's being really annoying, and let's just X out of here and escape because I'm gonna die. So I think we just need to cover that up and we're done. Whew, okay, that was quite the task, but hopefully that's all working now. And down here is my beautiful killing room, some really high-tech building going on here. Nope, it's just very, very basic stuff, which is absolutely fine, doesn't have to be super duper amazing. But I think now we're just gonna do a quick... Oh. That hasn't occurred to me that would be a problem. How close do we have to get until that actually starts spawning blaze? There. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to make an actual AFK spot, as well as fly away and let those guys despawn, but hey, at least we know it's working. Okay, that's fine. Basically, what I was gonna say is, I think I'm just gonna AFK here for maybe 10-15 minutes and just see how many blaze rods we actually get. According to my F3 screen, that is around about 50 blazes, which is a pretty decent amount. I'm not sure what it looks like on the inside. I'm sure you guys will have a good idea since you just watched that very quick replay footage. But there we go. How many blaze rods did we get from 10 minutes worth of AFKing? 54. Oh, no, more than that. A stack and 54. So basically 2 stacks times that by 6. So we got 12 stacks for 1 hour's worth of work, which honestly, if I did that, that's probably enough to supply me for the whole of this city. So yeah, that is awesome. So I just watched back that time lapse that you guys witnessed about a minute ago, and all looked pretty good actually, with all things considered. A couple of them got stuck for a little bit, but eventually because of their pathfinding, they walked onto a pressure plate and got loosened basically. So yeah, don't think I'm gonna make any more modifications, although I'm sure I could. You're always welcome to let me know down in the comments, but for right now this is honestly, for my needs, the perfect blaze farm. Okay, now time to fly back to the village, or city I should say. First of all, gotta find my nether portal, which I've kind of forgotten where that is. I don't currently have a good way of getting to this farm other than flying to it, so maybe sometime soon I should actually set up some sort of nether hub. That would probably be a really smart idea. So I have arrived safe and sound back at the city, and I think what I would like to do now, just to finish off the episode, is get some more villagers and increase the population to more than 2. But I think we're gonna have to wait until morning because the nomads that you just saw there are probably about to go home, so I think I'll just wait for a fresh batch tomorrow. So whilst we're waiting for the sun to go down and our new nomads to arrive, let me talk to you guys a bit about something I proposed last episode, which basically, in case you missed it, was a vanilla villager trading hall. long story short, basically, I wanted to know what you all thought about the idea of that, since we've been doing this series so long, and the merchant kind of gets a bit tedious and really quite time consuming, waiting for, you know, the emerald supply to pile up to actually purchase tokens. And I asked you guys for your very honest opinion of what you thought about that and how it would affect your viewing of the series. And I just want to say to begin with, thank you for everybody just leaving your feedback on that. I really do appreciate it, whether you were for or against it. And I actually counted how many people were for or against at the time of this recording, and there were 37 people for, this is in the comments by the way, and 10 people against. So yeah, that is actually kind of what I expected. Most of the people who were for basically just said they're fine with it. You know, you don't really watch this series to watch me trade with the merchant. It's more about building. And those of you who are against it generally were more so of the opinion that it felt like it would make it feel a bit more like a survival series and kind of ruin the aspect of the mod. Both of them are totally understandable. So here's what we're going to do. For the meantime, I'm not going to be building a villager trading hall, and I in fact probably won't for quite some time. I think if we do end up building one, it will be much later through the process of this city project, when we kind of reach a point where everything is built, you know, all of the platforms have been filled out with something, and we're literally just left with building up the population, which, as I mentioned quite a few times in this series, I want to go really high with this city. I aimed at, I think, 250 villagers. That, again, might be a bit overkill, but I want a really high number of villagers just to have this being like max efficiency. And if I do that solely through the merchant, it's going to take forever and be really boring. So I think for now, whilst we're actually doing the building, I'll just use the merchant, and then maybe afterwards when we really want to get, you know, a crazy amount of villagers, that's when we can think about doing a villager trading hall. Hopefully that's a nice middle ground for everybody. The sun has now risen, and I will start waiting for the nomads. I'll keep a careful eye out, and look at that, I've already spotted one. Or is that our farmer? I'm not sure, honestly. Let me go have a look. The merchant is right next to him, which is kind of throwing me off. No, that's Luther. There's some nomads. Okay, they're making their way into town. Well, we got to purchase the tokens first of all. And something I saw mentioned a couple of times last episode in the comments was some people querying, what are you doing? Oh, you're making an axe, that's fair enough. Were people querying if I brought some emeralds with me from the previous village, and I didn't, mainly because I just straight up ran out of emeralds at the end of Eridween. So usually I think it was I bring 5 stacks with me, so at some point or another I might head back to one of the previous villages, trade for 4 stacks of emeralds, and then that should help me just get things underway for the start of the city when it comes to actually purchasing tokens. Anyway, I'm going to head into our tiny town hall and just have a scroll through these two and just see what I actually want to purchase. So as you can see, I have divvied up all of my emeralds to purchase some different things, and we're going to be getting 8 new villagers in total. So of course, to begin with here, we're going to need some homes, which is why we have these to get 2 4-person homes, which should be enough, I think. And we're also, from the architect, gonna need 2 mine shafts here, which are 3 emeralds each. So we are, of course, gonna get some miners to go alongside them. Let's scroll across here, and they should be just around the corner. Here they are. Yep, so 4 emeralds each. We'll get ourselves 2 of those. And then I think with the remaining ones, we're going to get 3 more lumberjacks just like that, as well as 3 more farmers. And I think that is going to be pretty good for this episode. Time to wait for the nomads and hand them all out. This is probably going to be a multi-day thing, I think. I don't think 8 are going to turn up in one day. Just placing in the mine shafts, I've got one here as well as one on the other side in the same place, and I think the first nomad that we should probably hire should become a miner, just so we can make sure the mines actually work. And if they don't, well, it's going to be a sudden end to the episode because I'm going to be really sad. So who are you? Vencia Soberton, you have terrible intelligence, my friend, but that's okay because, well, nothing personal against miners, but you're going to be a miner and you'll also get smarter when we built the library. So here you go, Vencia, go mine some stuff and try not to go through the nether portal. I'm going to keep a close eye on her, I think, just in case. Well, so far so good. She's making her way to the mines, so I'm assuming she has obviously found the actual token and is currently pathfinding to it. Let's make sure she uses the staircase okay and doesn't get caught in anything. End rods are not being a problem. Okay, that's awesome. Alright, gonna be a bit of a long way down to the bottom, I think. But she has made it all the way down to bottom, and the next hurdle is the fire, closely followed by the nether portal. Oh, okay, we're good, and she's mining. Okay, that is awesome. So yeah, I had two fears there. One, she was just going to walk directly into the fire, and two, she was actually in fact going to go through the nether portal. And I guess three, actually use the mine shaft, but I had faith in her managing to do that bit. She is, however, digging the wrong part, as they always do. So, yeah, that's good. My nether portal theory does in fact work, and because of their pathfinding, there should be no reason at all why they actually walk into this fire. So, yeah, the mines work. That's a relief. A big one, because I had my doubts, I'll be honest. She has, however, now just frozen. Oh, no, okay, we're good. She just needed to readjust herself and think where she was. She's going back up. Awesome. I'm definitely gonna need a lot of miners, because, what, she mined for about 2 seconds then, and now is deciding to go back to the town hall, unless she's going to bed, actually, that would make more sense, but, oh my god, that makes me nervous. Okay, I might have to put some sort of barrier along here. That was scary, because if a villager knocks them, that's a certain death. Okay, something to make note of. But yeah, either way, it's a really long way down, so having lots of miners is definitely gonna be smart. But hey, another day has passed, time to sleep the night away, and hopefully get more than one nomad come by town this time. Quartz slabs or stone slabs? I think I prefer the stone ever so slightly, and I know this isn't the prettiest looking thing in the world, but I have to do it something that's at least 2 blocks high so they can't just hop up on top. Didn't really want to use fences or anything like that, so yeah, we've gone with this. Yeah, definitely think I prefer the stone slabs here. I'll change the quartz out in a second. Just want to have a fly over here and see if any nomads have made their way into town. I can see 1 again, 2, there we are, that's a bit better this time. Alright, let's see who we have here. Who are you? You are Milos, you have 19 intelligence, that's pretty good. And we also have Ambert with 26, my goodness. Okay, Ambert, you can be a miner. There you go, go dig some more stuff alongside, I forgot the other one's name, that's my bad. And you, Milos, oh, there's another one, there's a third one here, Dirk. You guys can be farmers, so there's a 1 farmer token, and actually, you know what, you can be a lumberjack, Dirk. There we go, okay. I am, however, gonna do the usual thing with the farmers where I only make them harvest 1 sort of crop. So, Milos here is gonna be in charge of carrots. So, I saw a comment last episode from one of my wonderful viewers called Leah, who suggested the way that these hover cart loading things could work. Basically, my idea was that you use these kind of handles to push them, and then we kind of realized they wouldn't actually fit through the pathways. She has come up with a much better solution. She thought that maybe these could be something to do with the unloading and loading of them and changing the height ever so slightly, but they are just regular hover carts, so once they're loaded, they just get up and fly to their destination. I definitely prefer that to my idea. Just thought it was pretty cool and thought I'd share it with you guys. There we go, stone on both sides. That is looking much better, but more importantly, much safer for the villagers. We have a late arrival here of Amy, who's going to be another farmer. She can be in charge of potatoes, I think, and I don't think we've seen this skin yet, so there you go, there's the female farmer. Pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can see them in the window. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to or not, but that's actually really sweet. This is going to look amazing when we've got all of these filled out with villagers. It's going to look bustling and super busy. You're super sad, and I'm sorry about that. Did I just see an overcrowding symbol? That shouldn't be a thing. I specifically made sure that the rooms were not over capacity. Well, I have no idea why that's happening, but as you can see, we got some more nomads, we got 3 more tokens. Are there in fact 3 of you? At the moment, I see 1. Currently chasing him down the stairs, and it's proving unsuccessful, but we have Dodd Soberton, very nice name, who is going to become our 4th and final, for now, villager, and he is in charge of the beetroots, the most important crop of all. It's not looking too promising that other nomads are going to show up, so I think instead of waiting away another night, we're actually going to call it here for today's episode, and we'll hand out the 2 remaining lumberjack tokens next time. We'll do that right at the start maybe, but for right now, Dirk and whatever the other lumberjack is called, you're right here, that's good timing. Dirk and Amory have all of these trees to chop down, which is more than enough. They could definitely use the help, but yeah, as I said, we'll have to wait until next time. Thank you guys ever so much for watching this episode. I really hope you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.